What if I told you that the easiest way to build wealth doesn't require timing the market, chasing hot stocks, or even hiring a financial advisor? It's something so simple that millionaires, billionaires, and even everyday workers use it quietly to grow their money year after year. It's called index fund investing, and it's often described as the lazy person's path to financial freedom. But here's the real question. If it's so simple, why aren't more people doing it? Today, we're going to break down what index funds are, how they work, why they outperform most investors, and how you can start building wealth through them, even if you're starting with zero knowledge and a small budget. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know how to make your money grow automatically, while you focus on living your life. Part 1. What exactly are index funds? Let's start from the top. An index fund is simply a collection of stocks that mimics a specific segment of the market. For example, the S&P 500 index fund includes 500 of the largest U.S. companies, like Apple, Amazon, Google, and Microsoft. So instead of buying one stock at a time and guessing which will perform best, you buy a piece of all of them, automatically. Think about it like owning a slice of the entire economy. When the economy grows, your slice grows too. Now here's something fascinating. Over 90% of active fund managers, the so-called experts, fail to beat the market long-term. That means most investors who try to outsmart the market end up earning less than someone who simply bought an index fund and held it. So, let me ask you this. Would you rather gamble on being in the lucky 10% or consistently earn steady returns with minimal stress? Part 2. The power of passive investing. Index funds represent the ultimate form of passive investing. You're not watching charts every day or stressing about market news. You invest money regularly, let the fund mirror the market, and compound interest does the heavy lifting. Warren Buffett himself once said, "A low-cost index fund is the most sensible investment for the vast majority of investors." He even left instructions for his wife to invest 90% of her money in an S&P 500 index fund after he's gone. If it's good enough for the world's most successful investor, shouldn't it at least deserve your attention? Here's the magic. When you invest early and consistently, time becomes your greatest ally. Even small amounts snowball over decades. Imagine investing just $200 a month into an index fund returning around 8% annually. In 30 years, that's over $270,000, and you only invested $72,000 of your own money. The rest came from compound growth. Now, imagine what happens if you start earlier or invest more. How different would your future look? Part 3. How index funds actually work. Let's pull back the curtain. When you buy an index fund, your money gets spread across all the companies in that index based on their market value. So, if Apple makes up 6% of the index, then 6% of your investment goes to Apple. As companies grow, shrink, or get replaced, the index automatically adjusts, meaning you stay diversified without lifting a finger. You're not betting on one company, you're betting on the growth of the entire market itself. And historically, the stock market has gone up over time, despite wars, recessions, pandemics, and political chaos. So instead of reacting to headlines, you ride the wave of long-term progress. That's the philosophy behind index funds. Set it, forget it, and let time do the work. Part 4. Common types of index funds. Not all index funds are the same, and this is where smart investors start customizing. Here are the most common ones. S&P 500 index funds. Tracks America's top 500 companies. Great for beginners. Total market index funds. Includes every publicly traded company. Broader, more diversified. International index funds. Invests outside your home country for global exposure. Bond index funds. Less risky. Provide steady income. Sector index funds. Focus on specific industries like tech, healthcare, or energy. The key is diversification. Don't try to predict the next big winner. Own the whole market and let the winners lift you. If you could own shares in every successful company in the world, why wouldn't you? Part 5. Index funds versus mutual funds and ETFs. Here's where people get confused. Both mutual funds and ETFs can be index funds, but not all are created equal. Traditional mutual funds are often actively managed, meaning someone is buying and selling stocks trying to beat the market. That usually means higher fees and lower returns. Index funds, on the other hand, just track the market, so they cost less and perform better on average. ETFs, or exchange-traded funds, are like index funds you can buy and sell anytime on the stock market, just like regular stocks. So if you want flexibility and low costs, index ETFs are often your best friend. Part 6. How to start investing in index funds. Now, how do you get started? Step 1. Pick a brokerage platform. In the US, you can use Vanguard, Fidelity, or Charles Schwab. In Africa or Europe, look at eToro, Bamboo, or Interactive Brokers. Step 2. Choose your index fund. The S&P 500 Index Fund is a great starting point. Look for funds with low fees, known as expense ratios. Step 3. Automate your investments. Set up automatic monthly deposits so you never forget to invest. You'll be surprised how much wealth builds up when it's consistent and automatic. Step 4. Hold long-term. This is crucial. Don't panic when markets drop. That's part of the game. Real wealth comes from time in the market, not timing the market. Would you plant a tree and dig it up every time the weather changed? Exactly. Let it grow. Part 7. The psychology of patience. Here's the part nobody talks about: mindset. Index fund investing requires one thing most people don't have: patience. The market will test you. It'll go up, it'll crash, and sometimes you'll want to quit. But remember this: every crash in history eventually recovered. Every dip created millionaires who had the courage to stay invested. So, instead of reacting emotionally, focus on your long-term goal: financial freedom. Ask yourself, when the market drops, will I panic, or will I buy more shares while they're cheap? That's the difference between an investor and a gambler. Let's recap. Index funds are simple, low-cost, and proven. They let you own hundreds or even thousands of companies with just one click. They outperform most investors. And they grow your wealth automatically, while you sleep. You don't need to be rich to start. You just need time, consistency, and patience. So, ask yourself this one question before you close this video. Will your future self thank you for starting today, or regret waiting another year? If this video helped you understand index funds better, hit that like button, subscribe for more investing wisdom, and check out our next video. The psychology of money: why most people stay broke. Because learning how money works is great. But mastering how you think about it, that's where real wealth begins.